Good morning. My name is Stephen Goss. I am your facilitator for today's New Thought Virtual Sunday service. Our guest speaker today is Cymber Quinn. She's a wonderful harpist musician who will speak to us about the consistency of music in these uncertain times. Today, she's going to be sharing her music with us and speaking about how to use music to reduce stress, increase calm, uplift yourself and others. So, Cymber, could you start us out with some music?
Yeah, I'd be delighted to. I may know some of you because this is my third time playing for New Thought Center, and it's a delight to be back. And so I'm going to start with something Hawaiian here. Can you hear that okay?
Cymber, that was beautiful. Thank you very much. And now we're going to take the time to settle in and do a opening meditation prayer slash affirmation. It starts from the point of light within the mind of God. Let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth from the point of love within the heart of God. Let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men. The purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where ignorance dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Once again, welcome to New Thought. The New Thought Center of Hawaii welcomes you. Our mission is to provide a sanctuary of aloha for the nourishment and development and the evolution of each individual's unique spiritual path. We started as a Kona Community Church of Religious Science back in 1971, and we've had Sunday services continuously from that time. We are no longer a religious science of mind church, but we still hold true to many of the same basic principles and ideas. We are now affiliated with the International New Thought Alliance, which covers many different New Thought churches, including Unity and religious science and centers for spiritual living. Now we're going to have a reading from the Science of Mind magazine. Pasha, could you do that, please?
Yes, with pleasure. So this is the service for December 13th, but I'm actually sharing the daily inspiration for December 8th because it has to do with music. It seemed like it would be just right for to go with Cymber's talk. So it's called Finding Your Voice. It begins with a quotation. This is from someone named Terry Tempest Williams. Okay. Choosing with integrity means finding ways to speak up that honor your reality, the reality of others, and your willingness to meet in the center of that large field. It's hard sometimes. And the second quote is from Ernest Holmes, the founder of Religious Science and the first editor of this magazine. The discovery of God in yourself is the greatest discovery you can ever make. And the little essay for today is from Dr. Reverend Edward Viljoen, and I hope I pronounced him right. One of the more profound experiences of my life was playing in an orchestra. I loved how each instrument had its unique voice and how new sounds became possible by blending different instruments. From orchestral playing, I learned the lesson of cooperation and observed the beauty that results when instruments play in harmony rather than competition. In an orchestra, musicians must know which instrument has the melody. Everyone cannot play as loudly as possible all the time. When you are playing the supportive harmony, you must play more quietly so that the instrument playing the melody can shine. You have a specific voice, your individual identity as a spiritual being. It is beautiful in and of itself. You do not lose who you are when it is added to the voices of others. Coming together is one of the most beautiful things we can do. It amplifies our shared reality and honors our diversity. In Thoughts Are Things, Ernest Holmes writes, life has set the stamp of individuality upon you. You are different from any other person who ever lived. You are an individualized center in the consciousness of God. You are an individualized activity in the action of God. As a unique expression of life, surely you must be essential to the whole. If you were unnecessary, you would not have taken form on this plane. You are unique, but not separate. And when you and I join our voices, the song we sing becomes better because of the combination of our uniqueness. And I will read the affirmation in 3 parts so you can repeat each segment if you're so inclined. Today, I have a clear voice. I express myself easily and harmoniously with others because I know what lives in me is divine.
Thank you, Pasha. Cymber, could you play us another beautiful piece of your music? Thank you so much, Cymber. If possible, when you play again, if you could anyway, increase the volume a little bit. Well, you've had a taste of this beautiful music. Now, I'd like to take the time to introduce Cymber a little more fully, and then you'll be hearing from her. She is a visionary meditation harpist who, like other world musicians, are able to combine classical jazz and new age music into pioneering interior journeys for the soul. She brings a elegant yet relaxing tones into her music. She plays at community and corporate events, weddings, ceremonies, concerts, and she has master harp classes. She is a founding member of the Hilo Harp Circle here on the Big Island. She's won 5 Big Island Music Awards and have several CDs out. I'm wondering perhaps why her music is so mindful and visionary is because she's also a Reiki master. So now is a time we'd like Cymber to tell us a little bit more about her background, her philosophy, and her music. And of course, if she wishes to play more for us. Thank you. Cymber.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephen. Hi, everybody. As I said at the beginning, I'm honored. This is my third time here with New Thought Center in Kona, although we're all now at home, and in a way, it's a silver lining that I get to be with you over the internet. So I'm delighted to be here. And I will play a little bit more at the end, Stephen, and I have a solution for making it louder. So we'll be good with that. So what I wanted to talk about, well, I'll tell you a little bit more about my background. I started out in a musical family, and I lived in a town at a time when every child got daily musical education. They also got art education and physical education, all those programs that we don't have so much anymore. So I was very fortunate then. But I was a teenager. Now, I rebelled. I didn't want to do that. I quit, and I left music for 27 years. And I went into corporate, but a health experience made it clear that I needed to leave that kind of work environment, and music was my path back to health, and particularly the harp. So I learned to play when I was living. My first lessons I took in Laupahoehoe, my little house in Laupahoehoe, and then later in Hakalau, and then I had a teaching studio in Hilo right next door to the palace. Loved that studio. It was really fun to be right next door to the palace. And so now I'm home in Denver, and delighted to be with you to talk about music as a path for coping what we're going through right now with the COVID virus and stay-at-home orders, and oh, can we go out? No, we have to go back in. How, it can be kind of scary what's going on. And there's a lot that is not stable in our lives. It's just what it is right now. So, but I wanted to talk about music as something that lives forever, that is stable, that you can lean on when things are like this, or unprecedented times. None of us have gone through this kind of thing before. But if we look back in history, we see many times people have been in adversity, and music has been the way that they've kept themselves sane while they were waiting for rescue, or waiting for sensible leadership to come back to their country, or whatever was going on. They would gather, and music was a way that they kept themselves together. And when your quote this morning, Pasha, about the uniqueness of each voice and then bringing them together, is exactly what we're talking about here. We can bring each one of our voices into this pandemic, and it does, and just be together and share. Maybe we can't sing together because there's too much lag on Zoom. There are programs that help solve that problem for musicians. If you want to hear about that, contact me separately. But for now, talking, we can together, because there's no beat in that. We can do that together. So I want to talk a little bit about how old music is, and why I think it's a constant that you can really rely on. And doing that, I'll be sharing my screen a bit and sharing some different examples of music from way back coming forward into present times. So let me do that. So first I want to introduce you to a song that I learned at Scout Camp. This is a song written in many, many languages, and I'll let it speak for itself.
We shall perish from under the sky. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Never to die. Shall perish from under the sky. Music shall worship, music of joy shall be. Music of joy shall sing, music of music. Ancient music, ancient music. Music shall worship, music of joy shall be. Music of joy shall sing.
All right. So I learned that at Girl Scout camp 1,000 years ago, but I really believe it's true. The universe is made of vibration. Oops, hold on. Ah, there we go. And we're made of vibration as well. And so we can sing together songs like this. And this opening clip that I played for you matches the reading that you did, Pasha, so well, because here we have 3 different languages, all saying roughly the same thing, all singing on the same pitches, and it sounds beautiful. So we don't even have to speak the same language if we're singing the same music. Super cool. All right, so moving along. So when did singing start? When did music start? Well, we don't really know. That's the truth. It's so old, but it might have started with animals. As I was doing my research for this talk today, it might have started with animals. So I want to show you a couple animals singing along with their musical counterparts. This is elephants singing with the piano. This guy, Paul Barton, plays piano for blind and abandoned elephants in a preserve. So there's lots of videos of him playing for his elephants, and so here they are singing along. Is that singing? Maybe it is for elephants. Maybe they feel like they are right on pitch and going right along with it. So, and of course we have in our own, in our own lives, we have our cats and dogs that sing along. I'm going to share a blues cat with you here. This is like a legitimate, real blues cat. All right, here we go. Oh, I lost my page. Hold on, I stopped sharing for just 1 second. Technical difficulty. Where'd it go? Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having a moment. I had it all set up for you. Dear me. All right. Well, I can find them. I can. One moment. Boop, 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 boop. Do, 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 do. I'm so bummed. I don't know what happened to it. Well, shooty doo. Okay. Oh my gosh. Those computers. I had it all set up. Okay. Plan B. I'll keep talking because I'm going to keep talking while I'm sharing this with you, because where I'm really leading up to is the world's oldest written song. And that's really what I want to share with you. It comes from Sumeria, is written on clay tablets. We think that it was written in about 1400 BC. And you're not the one I want. It's written for the lyre. It's written for the harp. So I wanted to share this video with you. This is good. Hold on. Oh my goodness. No, my windows are back. All right. Sorry, here we go. Sharing the screen with you. And then I'll go back and play the jazz cat because he is pretty awesome. But I want to share this with you because this is really it. This is the oldest known music, written music.
What you're listening to is the Huron Hymn number 6, the oldest piece of music that actually could be reconstructed. It was discovered in the royal palace of Ugarit, northern Canaan, now modern-day Syria, and is believed to date back to 1600 BCE, some 3,400 years ago. The song itself is inscribed on a small clay tablet and was discovered in the early 1950s, along with 36 other tablets. But the Huron Hymn number 6 is the only tablet that was preserved well enough to be read, and eventually performed. The tablet itself contains instructions for a song on a lyre, an instrument that looks like a small harp, and is written in the dialect of the ancient Hurrian language. It also includes partially obscured lyrics that appear to be a prayer to Nikal, the goddess of orchards. The version you see on screen is a translation by Hans Johann Thiel, and is considered to be the closest to the original spirit of the song. Whilst the Huron Hymn is the oldest piece of music that can be reconstructed, it is not the oldest song that exists. That title goes to the Lipit Ishtar, which is another tablet discovered in Sumer, modern-day Iraq, but this time from 1950 BCE, roughly 4,000 years ago. It's made up of instructions on how to play a hymn, but the trouble is, it's only a small fragment of a large piece of work, and so its instructions do not give us enough information to reconstruct the actual song. The oldest form of music, in its broader sense, is the many musical instruments, mostly bone flutes, that have been unearthed in prehistoric excavation sites.
Now I want to stop here for just a second, and I'm going to go on and talk more about, I'll put the links, or I'll send you guys the links so you can continue watching this on your own. But I want you to notice particularly these bone flutes. The very first bone flutes that they found are 40,000 years old. The written songs are only about 3,000 years old. So bone flutes have been around a lot longer. And they look a whole lot like Hawaiian nose flutes. If you've seen a Hawaiian nose flute, they look a whole lot like this. So here's this ancient music that has this constant thing that has been going along with humanity. So I want to stop for just a second and play you just a little bit of this ancient tune that they were just playing. And I want you to listen to it, mainly this part. Is the opening line here. It's got a very powerful, if you're a musician, minor. Okay, so I want you to be able to hear that because it's going to come back in a second in the modern form. And this particular movement of notes is fundamental to who we are. There's another talk that I'll send you, Pasha, to post, which Bobby McFerrin did, in which he proved that these notes are fundamentally part of who we are, because he started leading people singing in an audience, something they didn't know. and they immediately jumped to the correct note because it's built into us, this thing, this original song. Okay, so we got that. We got the original oldest song, and now I'm going to play for you without showing you what it is, a modern interpretation of that ancient. Okay, get that in your ear. All right, so here we go. Okay, Dick Dale, surfing music from the 50s. How is this possible that music could have traveled from Ugarit, Sumeria, the Crescent from 4,000 years ago to Dick Dale, which of course affects a whole ton of music in Hawaii because of the surfing culture. Because Dick Dale's mother was Lebanese. And she knew Lebanese folk music. Well, where's Lebanon? Lebanon's right there in the Fertile Crescent area. All that music got passed on to Dick Dale, which then he got a hold of an electric guitar, which probably had never happened to Lebanese music before, ever. And so this is what I'm talking about, the constancy of music as over time. These tunes that are fundamental to who we are travel, but they just take different forms as we play different instruments. They were played on nose flutes or mouth flutes, and then they were played on harps or lyres, and up to, you know, electric guitars and even singing. All of that's, so back to my original point for the talk, which is how can you use music to help yourself like find a life raft in all of this, you know, instability. And so pick your favorite music. It's probably actually thousands of years old. It's based on something from way back, and trust that music will always be there, even after you're long gone. After I'm long gone, the vibrations will still be there. Now, last thing I want to say about this, leave you with this thought, is how important is it really, music in our lives? So here's my question for everybody. Can you remember the first drummer you ever heard? And most people go, you know, they're thinking back to music or whatever. But then I say, the answer is the same for everybody. It's your mother. You spent 9 months listening to a drummer drumming away. Da-tum, 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 da-tum. It's so fundamental to who we are. And then you came out with your own drum. Da-tum, 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 da-tum. This is why rhythm is so important. So music, we're made of vibration. We're made of music. So let me play just a little bit more. Can I have a little more time to play a little bit more? Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to play you something that is roughly based on this ancient Ugarit music. I can't do Dick Dale on the harp. But you might know this. That's what I got to say. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for presenting. That was more than interesting. Personally, I've been like music's up for me right now. I had just dug out my old keyboard and studying again how to read music, and it just seems like the right thing to do with extra time in my hands and solitude. So thank you again. This is a time for the talk about donations. And Cymber, could you play some background music while I read this? Donations to New Thought Center of Hawaii are greatly appreciated, especially during this time when we cannot gather together for our normal programs and services. According to many teachers in the New Thought tradition, the act of unselfish giving is beneficial to both the giver and the receiver and opens the consciousness to greater prosperity. So may you be so blessed. You can donate electronically by clicking on the button on our homepage, which connects you to the New Thought PayPal account. And you don't need to have a PayPal account yourself to use this method. There is the choice to donate by debit or credit card. Our donations also can be made by check and mailed to New Thought Center of Hawaii, P.O. Box 333, Kealakekua, Hawaii 96740. And all donations are fully deductible for tax purposes. And Pasha, do you happen to have the announcements there? I seem to have misplaced my upcoming announcement sheet.
I'll go ahead and put the screen share on and then we'll all see it.
Okay. Yes, those darn computers. Coming up at New Thought Center, of course, our Sunday services. Virtually now they're starting at 10 o'clock, but 9:45 when they're in person. On next Sunday, on 12:20, we have Dawn Barnett with the Winter Solstice program, which will be recorded on YouTube. And then on 12:27, our community sharing service. I lost the screen share here.
Excuse me, it's Pasha. I realized I shared the previous weeks. Let me get the correct one up here. Okay, so maybe we can have Cymber do a little humming. I like that girl of Ipanema when you had your previous computer challenge. Okay, give me about 2 minutes here.
where's all my jokes when I need them?
He doesn't see. Yeah, where are your jokes? We need a handful of jokes.
Let's see.
A new thought member walks into a bar.
Okay,
Okay.
I think we're back. Okay.
Well, anyways, on the 20th, Don Barnett Winter Solstice program recorded on YouTube. Then on the 27th, our Zoom community sharing service. Looking forward, looking back. And also, this will be a time for us that knew him to all remember Brian Nakasone. There'll be a Zoom invitation sent to you. And this will not be recorded. Weekly classes, we have gentle yoga from 5 to 6:30 with Maria Mon. That's a $15 to $20 drop-in. Upcoming events and workshops at New Thought. Christmas Eve. The exact time will be to be determined, will be recorded on YouTube. For a special announcement, New Thought is looking for readers and musicians to help us co-create this virtual Christmas Eve service for 12/24/20. And the requirements are you must be able to participate in one rehearsal plus the final recording session by Zoom between 12:17 and 12:22. Last thing, we have an office space for rent for $400 per month. This was formerly occupied by Island Spirit, but they have moved to building B, which is nearby. If you'd like to be on our mailing list or you want to receive the weekly e-newsletters, please sign up on the website. That would be www.newthoughtcenterofhawaii.com. You can also find the New Thought Center of Hawaii info on Facebook and Dolphin Podness. And now we're going to close with the Hawaii Aloha. Cymber, you could play that for us.
Yep, I have that from, I can at least get us started. Hey, how?
Dancing.
Ole!
All right. That was great. And we thank all of you for being with us this Sunday. And mahalo. See you all again. Thank you so much, Cymber.